Welcome to this week's Midweek Howl, the non-paranormal part of the From the Shadows podcast. You know what I'm going to start out with?
No, I don't know. Well, who knows? Go ahead.
So we got our first official piece of fan mail. Remember, I gave out the address. I don't know, 7-8 episodes ago on the Midweek Howl. And so we got a postcard, and it's international too. It's not just here in the United States. So here we go. So it's Shane, Howler, and all. Hello from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. Congratulations, 200 plus episodes. So pictured here is the Science Center on the shores of Ramsey Lake. The building kind of looks like a UFO. It does kind of look like a UFO. I'll put a picture up, and I'll put a picture up tomorrow when this episode comes out. Love the show, live or recorded. I'm listening. Best wishes from a fan, Lolly in Sudbury. I think Lolly has been on the show and shared some paranormal stories, actually, a while ago. But Lolly's a big fan from Canada. If my memory serves me right, she might have been the one that was hoping that you and I would crash in the plane where they were at. They're desperate for men at her part of Canada.
Whoa, wait a second now. I was looking something on my split screen here. I want to take some notes now because I'm going to be airborne here in a couple weeks. Where do they need us to crash at?
Sudbury, Ontario, Canada.
Is that where our fan mail came from?
Yeah. Sudbury, Ontario. Yep.
Asking if there's any black bears or...
You're asking right now. Lolly listens.
Black bears or ice fishing, because...
Of course there's ice fishing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be water. I'm going to Google it up here in a second and check it out.
And I'm pretty sure, Lolly, we have a couple good fans up there from Canada, and I think it was Lolly that might have at when we were talking about crashing a long time ago, that she said, if you guys crash up here, we'll put you to work. And when I think she meant work, I don't think she meant really work, if you know what I mean.
Well,
just
a kid-friendly show.
Yes.
It's a kid-friendly show.
Yes.
So
it's a kid-friendly show.
Yeah. It's kid-friendly. So
yeah, we'll keep it above board. But thank you, Lolly, for sending us a postcard. It was great it's great to go into work and actually get something that you're happy about instead of
a bill,
all the junk mail that I got to deliver, and the food. Last Saturday was the food drive. Did you have the food drive there with your post office?
My post office is so shorthanded.
Yeah.
That I don't know if that they had one.
Some around here I heard didn't too, and when I first started, the food drive was huge. It was a big deal for
I've never heard of it until just now.
The food drive?
Mm-hmm. The post office food drive. Yeah.
A Saturday in the spring. I think it used to be in March, but now it's a little bit later. But they send cards out to everybody and ask you to put out non-perishable food items. And
the postman picks it up.
Yep. I went.
So you got to deliver the mail and then turn right around and
pick up food. Yeah. But here's the thing. Oh, geez. Here's the thing. So I was off Saturday. It was my weekend off. So I missed the food drive, as I have for...
That's my daughter's text. Can you believe...
Is everything okay?
Yeah, she just, she sets the tones on my phone, right? So she set tones for my kids and her, so different ones. So when you get it, you know that
she's in trouble.
That I know it's her, And I'm like, dude.
Anyway, so so I go to work Monday. All right, the food drive should be over. My sub picked everything up. I get to the first street on Monday, and my sub didn't pick up. And Morgan, she's a good worker, but she didn't pick up this house's food because it was in boxes labeled food pantry. So she was not sure whether it was
She
food.
was a new postal person, or what was she?
No, but she didn't know if they were food that somebody had dropped off for them, or they,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And so she didn't want to take, and they didn't answer the door. So I'm walking down the street. This guy comes out. Hey man, we had all this food out. 4 boxes, huge boxes full of cans, dried milk, or powdered milk, or whatever.
Is it all expired, or what? I mean, did you even?
I don't look at it. I didn't look at it. All I know is it's a Monday. My mail truck's full anyway of packages and stuff, and I'm loading up these boxes of food. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope this is the only place. So I get around a little bit later in my route, and here's a garbage bag with one of our little food cards on it, sitting out by the mailbox on a mounted part of my route. So I stop and I get out, and kind of a nasty note on there about, you were supposed to take this Saturday, but didn't. Please take it today. So now I'm aggravated because I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Did she not get it? Did they think I didn't get it on purpose? Whatever. So I go around to the back to take this garbage bag full of cans. And when I open up the back, one of those boxes that I've already picked up of cans spills out into the street, and cans go rolling all over the street. So now I'm even more aggravated. So I'm spending like 5 minutes picking up 40 cans of, creamed corn and green beans and pineapple chunks, that should have been picked up Saturday, and I just thought, should I give her a bunch of crap for not picking this food up? But I didn't. I teased her a little bit, but I let it go. I mean, I don't want to be one of those old bitter guys that I worked with when I first started. But the food drive, it's a good thing. The sad thing is people, in the last 4 or 5 years have not given out nearly as much food as what they did when I first started, and literally if everybody just put 1 can out, I have like 650 stops. I mean, if everybody on every route just put out 1 can, there'd be more food than you could imagine, for the food bank or whatever place that we actually give it to at our post office. But so keep an eye out next year for the card, and and leave some food out for those less fortunate.
Yeah.
So there. So I'm sad that your post office didn't do that for you.
Well, maybe they meant to. Right?
They meant to?
Yeah, maybe they meant to.
All right. And so you asked me before we got on air, our buddy Wade, he made it back from Colombia. You saw he had the pictures of
are we gonna go down that thing live on the air?
No. I'm talking about him at Pablo Escobar. We're not talking about the other pictures.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the other.
I thought we were going to talk about the other stuff.
No. We're not talking about that on the air. That's for the Patreon page. Anyway, so I just thought it was kind of crazy, that they had that museum for Pablo Escobar.
Well, who right? But wasn't there something weird, like you couldn't mention Pablo's name or something, though?
Well, so I asked Wade. I said, so what was the deal there that you told me you couldn't say his name? And I go, because you get you get in trouble. And he goes, oh no. Because here I thought, the way he framed it to me, Pablo's brother's in there taking pictures with you, and if you mention Pablo, like they get upset, like maybe you're disparaging his name. Well, here he goes, no, it's kind of like going into Germany and talking about Hitler. Nobody really wants to hear about Hitler. And I said, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
He doesn't know the same Germans I know. But go ahead.
Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. So you got some German people that like Hitler.
I don't know that they like him necessarily, but
They
it's kind of like all the people that hate President Trump. They damn sure keep talking about him, don't they?
They just got to find something to talk about, don't they?
That's what I mean. So
yeah, but hey, news is news, right? News is news,
right. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! Now I did get some sad news on Friday. My high school English teacher passed away, Mrs. Thornton.
How old was she?
She had to be in her 70s. I have not seen her official obituary, but she was a great teacher, and in our community, she was a spearhead for students to try to find any bit of scholarship money they could. So she kind of went to the knew the students in the area still to this day, even though she hadn't taught for a while, but this was kind of her calling, is that if you were somebody that wanted to go to college, she made sure you knew of all the grants, the aid, and the scholarships that were available in the county, the schools that you were going to, and made sure you met the deadlines and got everything turned in so that you could, get as much money as you could get to go to school. So, she touched a lot of people's lives. Now, when I was in school, she did not like me at all. She did not appreciate my sense of humor. She did not like, because she was kind of old. She was old school. She she taught. We learned Shakespeare stuff. We learned a lot of the classic literature, and I don't think she thought like my sense of humor belonged in literature. So she didn't like, the speeches I would give and stuff like that. But
years later, seen the error in her ways.
Actually, years later, she was friends with me on Facebook, and she, we lived in the same town, and she had a couple of my daughters, and did some stuff with them, and she sent me a message and told me how proud she was of me, of the stuff I had done, and that I turned into a halfway decent person.
A halfway decent person? You were just collecting food off the porch for the food bank, for Christ's sake. Have you ever known the English teacher to do that?
Well, I'll tell. So this is what we did for. So Todd and I. So I was sitting so my third youngest daughter was at the awards banquet, and so Mrs. Thornton's up there, and she was talking about a teacher that I had in school who they were giving away his scholarship in his name. And she said he died before he got a chance to ever see that he had a scholarship or, awarded to anybody or anything. And so when I left, I called my buddy Todd and I said, hey, look, because, he had her too. I said, hey, let's put together a scholarship in her name. And so we took part of the money that we earned every year from having a basketball organization, and we started a scholarship in her name, and we told her two things. Number one, the person that they gave it to, we wanted them to exhibit some sort of outside the box or creative thinking. Okay. Because when I went to school, there was nobody saying, hey, you can go write music, you can go write movies, you can go do anything like that.
That's because they wanted you to get a job and keep your head down in the factory for 40 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That there was none of that and where we're from. So that was number one. And then number two, we told her you can't tell anybody about it, that we are the ones that started it. And she was like, well, why not? And I just said, look, because it's about you. Because if you go tell people that we are the ones that did it, then everybody's going to say, yeah, a scholarship for Mrs. Thornton that, Shane and Todd started. And we didn't want that. We just wanted it to be all about her. And so she stuck to our wishes, never publicly told anybody that we were the ones that started the scholarship in her name. And the most ironic thing is that the very first girl that won this scholarship back 7 years ago was a girl whose family bought my mom and the house I grew up in after my dad died. So this girl actually grew up in the same house I did, and was the first winner of the scholarship. So it was kind of weird, but kind of cool.
Sounds like it was an inside deal. I understand. I was involved in politics for a little bit. I know how that works.
I had no idea.
The kickback, and that's how you got paid the money. Yeah, I understand exactly how it works.
The kickback. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a whole new scam. The scholarship kickback, right?
Yeah, well, they just put a bunch of people in jail for it last year, didn't they? Remember? Was
that for scholarship? Not like that. They were lying on their transcripts so they could get like athletic scholarship.
They had to pay the this is what I don't understand. They paid somehow the admissions people, and some of them, a coach or two maybe, went to jail.
They were.
So, but my point was, at any point they could have given that scholar. Like you go across the University of Missouri Columbia, and those buildings are named after people that either gave money or, you know what I mean. Okay, so what's the difference if I give that $250,000 on the table or $250,000, to the admissions people or the coach to get her in? You know what I'm saying? It's the same, isn't it?
Well, why? The other thing is if you're going to give that kind of money, just pay for school. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that was the problem. Like the one I read about was the Hollywood woman's. One of them people. They say they were famous, but shit, I never heard of any of them until they got arrested. So, how famous are they? I don't think her kid got.
One lady was on Full House, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I don't think her kid got good enough grades.
Oh, to even get into school? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that was the problem with the one.
Okay. I can't remember what her name was, but yeah, she was on Full House.
Oh yeah, see, now you're grabbing me like I'm making fun of her not being famous. You don't know her name was.
Well, it's Laura. Full House was. Oh, come on. Yes, you do. With the Olsen twins and John Stamos and all those guys.
You know what? I watched Hee Haw and the Dukes of Hazzard. That's what I watched. Okay.
Hee Haw and the Dukes of Hazzard. Well, I forgot. I got kids that are a lot older than you. My oldest loved Full House when she was a little.
Yeah, no, I didn't get started until you were on your third set of kids by the time I got my first ones. Okay.
Hey, look, and now I'm done, essentially, and you still got some,
I do. Mm-hmm.
I can't keep up. I can't keep up with what I got. Well, so,
what do you want? What are we going to talk about tonight? I forgot what we were gonna.
I don't even know. We're 20 minutes in, and have we talked about anything? Well,
I don't think you talked about all kinds of stuff. Ed didn't call me this week, so he must not listen. We lost. Either that or the tornadoes got him last week in Nebraska and Kansas out there.
Well, there you go. So now Ed, if he missed last week's episode, then he's going to tune in this week, and he's going to hear me talking about my dearly departed English teacher. He's going to be like, Jesus Christ, and
he hated English like I did. My English teacher hated me. You know what's funny is she's still there. I seen her not too long ago, but I did not walk over to her because she obviously did not know who I was, and it's better just to be that way. You know what I mean? To let her think
that you're somewhere locked up.
Yeah, that's right. Or living in a trailer house somewhere, beating the wife and kicking the dogs. It's just better for her to just have her preconceived ideas.
But she is still teaching?
No, but she lives in a town. I mean, in my high school, most of my teachers went to my high school. They just never left. You know what I mean?
Oh, so they were alumni that they came back and taught.
So the school was about 2.5 miles from her mom and dad's farm, and she built a house on that farm. You know what? This is a great segue. Okay, she built the house. She was old. She was the oldest girl of, I don't know how many there was total, but her two brothers one of them was a pretty good friend of mine. They were all older than me. But we rode the same school bus. So, when I was in first grade, this is back when like dudes in high school still rode the school bus. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I almost
And
got beat up by a couple of them. Yeah. Right.
so her one brother was probably 6 years older than me in high school, but I still knew who he was because I rode a bus with him. So when I was in 7th and 8th grade, when I was in 7th grade, he was a senior, I think. So whatever that spread ends up being. But she built a house. A lot of them built a house right there on the farm. They cut 5 or 6 acres. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's where they live. Yeah. So her house is within a mile and a half of the new football stadium. And I was there last year watching my son play. My kids don't go to school there, but they're in the same conference. They play them every year. So I was very selective on who. There was dozens of people I knew, but most people do not recognize me. So, and I just leave it like that.
Why do they not recognize you?
I got one of my best friends asking me that all the time. How do these people not recognize you? And I said, I don't know. It's because I was gone for 20 years. I weigh 90 pounds more than I did when I graduated high school, probably 100 pounds more. And then up until a couple weeks ago, I had a big old goatee and glasses. So I just wear my bifocals all the time. They're progressive, so they don't have a line, but I just took to wearing them so I don't have to lose them, put them on and off, right? So I guess I just look like a shaggy old man, fat old man or something. I don't know. That's a mystery to me because, like I said, my buddy is like, dude, how do they not know you? And I said, I don't know how they not know me. So,
how does that?
I love it.
You love it?
I'm in Mr. Invisible. I'm like cloaking. Mm-hmm. Then the only time better was in COVID. I always wore a mask, so that way nobody knew who I was. I didn't have to talk to them if I didn't want to.
That's a good point.
See, you're still loving life. I mean, you still believe in all the positive shit in life. I don't believe in that stuff anymore. I mean, I'm trying to figure out where Sunbury, Ontario is. I'm going to map it here in a minute and see if my 97 pickup will make it that far. So.
I can't be too. I mean, Ontario's got to be. How big is it as a province? It's got to be pretty big, but I think Ontario is directly north of Ohio, isn't it?
I'm going to look here in a second. Yes, I think it is. Yeah, because hold on, I'm going to look it up right now. If I can do it without screwing up my computer. My computer was warning me I was out of space today, and I ended up transferring 118 gigs of pictures from my C drive to my D drive so I could update my computer a while ago. Anyway, so this whole thing could go down right now. Oh, they have Greater Sudbury. There's a Lesser Sudbury, I guess.
Wouldn't that stand to reason? I
would think. I'm looking at the Greater Sudbury. It is right. Wow, it is right on top of you. Really, it's between Toronto and Detroit, straight north on the north side of the whatever that is. I don't even know what that is. Is that a Great Lake?
Yeah, it's probably not Erie, is it? It's what's
Huron.
Huron? Okay.
Huron. Well, you don't hear that one very much.
No.
I guarantee you that would have some snow in the wintertime. Wow. Mackinac. I always wanted to cross the Mackinac Bridge.
I just saw they went ghost hunting. Our buddy Josh Gates, they went ghost hunting up there on Mackinac
How would
Island.
they'd be frozen, wouldn't they? I mean,
they went right as the last week of the the tour season ended, and then they went up there when the place was kind of desolate. There wasn't a lot of, no tourists or anything, and that up there on Mackinac Island, right there was a battleground, like a Native American battleground. And it wasn't just like, I think, the French and them fighting over it, but it was different Native American tribes fighting each other.
Yeah.
Because there's like a bluff. It looked like on, it was very strategic. So it was kind of interesting. But they said there's a lot of.
Did they find any ghosts?
They found a lot of ghosts, but it sounds like there's a lot of bodies that were just buried on the shore, if that makes sense. Like,
for what?
Like
they had
battles and they buried the dead like I don't want to say in the sand, but up at the, drier part of the beach or whatever. So they just kind of said that a lot of that around the island is almost like an unmarked cemetery.
You mean because just over time, years? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. As battles happen
over hundreds of years.
Yeah. That there was, so many people lost their lives that a lot of times they just buried them where they fell, and a lot of those battles took place on the beach. So I found that interesting for sure.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's something about death, dying, and old stuff. I mean, what's funny is I was just up there. I was on Realtor a while ago looking at, or the other day looking at land up there on the UP, the Upper Peninsula, and it's fairly cheap up there.
Is it really?
Yes,
it's not cheap around here.
Yes, if I was a young man, I would either go to Wyoming, Utah, or the Upper Peninsula. And I know that's a big spread, but
Now why? Just because of the being able to be left alone a little bit?
Cheap land, and you could start your own compound. A lot of 4-wheeler, side by side, snowmobile riding, a lot of deer and fish to catch, and stuff like that. I'm not a young man anymore, so I spend my evenings by the pool, but it's certainly a good dream. I read about such things now.
Evenings by the pool.
I get in the pool almost every day since tax day, since April 15th. I've only not gotten in the pool, I think, 2 nights since April 15th. So,
I think our listeners are probably.
I get in there and swim with my dogs and.
You let the dogs. The dogs get in and swim too.
What do you mean let? My dogs run my household. So you seen any of them pictures of them dogs of mine in the pool?
I have. I just
my pinned tweet is my dog every year. I didn't refresh it yet. My dogs live better than 2/3 of people in the world. Maybe that's why I only got 109 followers.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.
God only knows what's hiding